So the start of the ultra loop to Beamsley Beacon, including Langbar. We're going up here on the road until there's a road off to the left in probably about 3/4 mile or so. So we've just passed a little parking area on the left. The track carries up on straight ahead, and if you turn left here, it says public bridleway only, no vehicles except for access. Actually, that's probably only about half a mile up there, and we've probably got about another half mile up this track. Keep going up this, it's a steady climb until you get to a bend, and then we're going up onto the moor. So as we get to the top of that climb, the road ends, well, it turns right to Ellarcarr, or Ivy House as it's called, and we go out onto the moor. This is Ellarcarr Pike, and just open this gate, and we're actually going down to the right following the boundary fence. Just when we might put this gate back up. Come with gloves on, there we go. So those that did the Wharfdale Skyline Ultra came up from there, over from Ellarcarr Rocks. There's a track out onto the moor. We're taking the track straight down. This is probably the most important bit on this loop. As you've come off of that really wet, boggy section and come along the path towards Lippersley Pike, which is at the top, you'll be coming back that way. When you get to these two stones here, that stone shows a track that goes into Timblings, and we're turning left here, and we're sort of descending off of the moor gradually to hit a road to then go along to Langbar and the checkpoint. And the checkpoint, you'll be looked after by Jed and Ian, and there'll be hot drinks and sandwiches there, and I suspect there may even be some mince pies if you're lucky. As you approach the shooting lodge over to your left, the path comes to sort of a bit of a crossroads, and that path goes down to the shooting lodge, but we don't want to do that. We're going to avoid the shooting lodge and go straight across the moor here. We're coming up a little bit of a rise, and there's a fork in the tracks, so we're going to go left. Right over in the distance you can see Beamsley Beacon and Round Hill over there. We'll be coming down those later, but for the moment we're coming around this track, and we're going to descend down a little bit more in a moment. That path off the moor eventually gets a fence beside it. You see a little reservoir over there, and it comes down to a gate with a stile next to it, and we're going through some woods, and the path is fairly obvious through the woods, so just follow that and out the other side. There we go, down there. So when you come out the gate, straight across on a grassy track, and keep following it around. As you've come through that big massive puddle, yes, there is a way through it, although I have got long legs, but I didn't get wet. You come up here, and the track bears round to the right, but our course carries straight on, and goes through a little muddy bit to this gate, and through this gate to the gate opposite. The other side of that little bit, there's a big stile if you want, or hopefully this gate opens. Yep, it does. So no creaking knees. Get through here, we can see track coming down from the right, but we're going left on this track, and you can see it going off into the distance. When you come around this bend, you've been on that path for quite a way on that track. Don't go round to the left. We need to take the bigger, more obvious track, which goes around to the right. As we top this rise, just after that last bit, The gate off to the left, 2 gates straight on, but we're going round to the right. So you're staying on this sort of gravel track and cutting round to the right. As we come down off of that track, we come to a load of logs, and the footpath we need to do to cut across the moor to get to the road, which will take us up to the checkpoint, is just after this stack of logs here. So if we look just to the right, around here, there's a footpath off down over here, and you can see it's just about going between all the along the grass. Follow this, and there's a road just over the back there, and that's the sort of little shortcut rather than following that track down to the road and along. Can if you want, but it's longer, and this is the little cut through down to the road over there. At the end of that little cut through, we're just coming up to the road, and there's a car coming down, or a van. Not many on this route. Probably a bit more road than normal, but most of the road we're on is quiet country lanes, narrow lanes, but shouldn't be troubled by cars on them, and it gives you a chance to get a bit of speed up and a bit of a respite from some of the really boggy moors, because now we're moving into, well, mid-December. The moors get very boggy. The roads are that busy that the sheep lying in them. Hey, yeah, you okay? Barely. This is where the checkpoint should be located, somewhere along here, probably on this little bit of grass verge here. And then as you leave the checkpoint, you carry on down this little track here. Leaving the checkpoint, take the public footpath, which takes you down here, but don't be fooled, it's not through those gates. It's not, doesn't carry on down this road, but it actually goes slightly off to the right, and that little dinky gate there has got some steps up to it, and you go through there. And when you get through, you just get down the other side. Oh, creaky legs. There we go. Go round to the right, around the rhododendron, and here's the path. All a bit covered over with the leaves at the moment, but it goes to the right of that rhododendron there. You keep going through these woods to the other side of the woods on this little path. At the end of those woods, I'm over a broken stile, and then over this wall, and then there's a footpath which takes you along several fields. Just keep following the footpath. Here we are at the end of the first field. Go across there, across through the little gate. If we look over to the right, we can see our prize, the highlight of the Christmas cracker, which is Beamsley Beacon. I can just see 2 people going up there towards the top. We'll be going up there very shortly. Although it's tempting to stay on this path, which is nice and wide, that we've come to in the last field, we actually need to drop down to that one, because we're going across to, there's a, looks like it's now a gap in the wall over there. I'll just find somewhere here to nip down. I could have nipped down a little bit earlier, but this is the path we need to be on, and you can see it's just taking us over there to the left of those trees to a gap in the wall. Through the gap in the wall, across this little rough bit, over the stile, and we're heading for the stile just opposite and slightly to the right there. Over this stile, don't go through that gate, it's private. Takes you through another little sort of rough wooded section. There we go. It's very short here. And then up some stone steps through a little gate at the top of the wall. And when we're through here, some steps down, going down to that little road and turning right and following it up to the top and turning left. At the top, as I said, you turn left, and then we're going to go immediately right and follow this wall round to the right. There we go. Beamsley Beacon, 3/4 mile. Shouldn't take us long then. Coming round here, but just bear in mind we stick to this wall for the time being. Keep that wall to your right. Just looking back, because after a while that footpath leaves the wall and starts to go up hill, goes left and uphill, and in a moment we'll come to a T-junction. And here we are. So a little T-junction, and we turn left. Now there are two choices here. You can go round to the left, which takes you straight up the ridge, and it's as broad as it's long. I've marked the route as going to the right here, to split off to the right. It's the same distance, but you sit lower for a bit longer, especially if there's a wind. You're on the leeward side, so the wind nearly always blows west to east around here. So if you come through this sort of mini valley, you're just protected from it a little bit longer, and it's a little bit more pleasant rather than being stuck up there, and that can be a little bit steeper to climb as well, so I'd recommend taking this route round. Here we are, top of Beamsley Beacon. Here's a trig point to bag for you. Commemorates a plane crash, sadly, as we get to the sort of summit cairn. This is the highest point and the end of Wharfdale as we look over into Nidderdale and around. And of course, because I've been climbing, if you know my videos, the sun's been out the whole time. It's been quite challenging climb up Beamsley today, so it's absolutely delightful up here. I really hope you get some weather like this, because then you'll appreciate just how beautiful it is up here. And so from the summit we head over. There's another little summit over there. I'm not sure if that one's called Halber Hill or Beamsley Beacon's called Halber Hill, but they've got a few names for them. You can look it up. I think actually that one might just be a bit higher than Beamsley Beacon, but Beamsley Beacon is the sort of the famous one. And we're heading off over that way. You can see in the distance, hopefully, there's a tower, and that tower is right by the last checkpoint. So you've got the checkpoint at Timble crossing, and then you've got that checkpoint there, and then after that it's just downhill all the way into Otley, nearly. Right, so follow along this ridge. It's usually quite a boggy, wet path even in summer, so we'll see you at the end of this path. Just a quickie, just to show you, we're on our way over to Round Hill now, and we're out in the moors on the top, and it's glorious. Just a quick pan round. There we go, out in the middle of nowhere. Absolutely beautiful. So we've got to the end of that path, and don't go through the gate ahead. That'll take you down to the A59. The footpath we're on curves round to the right and you keep the wall to your left, and basically you stay on this footpath all the way across the moor. I'll check in a couple of times, but there's no turnings, I don't think. If there is, don't take them, just stay on this footpath. Very shortly you come across another gate, and there's a small gate to the side, and the broken wall off to the right. So you can see we just carry straight on. This section can get quite muddy at times, quite wet. We're just approaching the next gate. I think this is the last gate that we go through before we get off the moor at the top at Lippersley Pike. No, Ellarcarr Pike. We do Lippersley Pike, which is the one ahead with the big cairn on. That's Sug Marsh over to the left, which is a lovely one to go through. And as we go through, oh, they put a new gate in, lovely. It all fallen last time I came. That section I'd just been through was actually, I mean, still a bit wet, but they've done an awful lot of work and it's dried out a lot, and they've cleared a runnable path through quite a bit of it, so that was quite pleasant. But yeah, a lot of work's been done on the moor, well done. And we're down over that bit. You can see those people are walking. Perhaps we're just following this path. We go through a really big streamy wet patch, and then we climb up to Lippersley Pike. So here we are at Lippersley Pike, a nice cairn that you can actually get inside. And as we get to the point up here, I'll just do a quick 360. I mean, you've got to be a bit adventurous to get in there, but I suppose you could. Yeah, so here we go. That's where we've come from, and that over in the background is Beamsley Beacon, and over there's Ilkley and Burley, and you can't quite see Otley because it's behind there, but that's where we're headed, straight down this path and back up through that really lovely wet boggy bit. Just remember, when you get back here, you're not going left to Timblings and you're not going right. Unless you want to do another loop, you go straight on, and we're over to Ellarcarr Pike and then off the moor. So we've just got back to Lippersley Pike, and going through this gate, the one we came through on the way. You can see the old wizards or whatever on there at Ivy House, and we're off down the path back towards Timble, and I've been joined by Millie and Bev. There we go. So as we come along to the end of that track, come to a T-junction, and we turn right, going past Lower Sowerby Farm and out to the main road. And when we get to the main road, we're going to cross it and go to the little hamlet of Timble. So we're approaching the crossroads at the end of that road. That track became more of a metalled road, and you can see it's 3/4 of a mile to Timble and a mile to Swinsty Reservoir.